Hello and welcome. Um, so today this is gonna be a little bit different. I met a 1500 rated player. I'm around 1K, and he offered to fight me, and so we had a 1v1. He's playing the Incas here, and I'm playing the Iroquois. And basically, I just want to analyze the game, see what I did wrong. Spoiler alert, he beat me, but I feel like it went actually pretty well, and he was saying I was playing pretty strong, but I still just want to look and see what happens. So yeah. So from my perspective, it took me a second to recognize this map. I can't remember what it's called, but it always has Jesuits, and it has this central trade route going along here. I sent this forward to the middle trade route to keep an eye on it. But he kind of craftily, I wonder if I could have seen that right there, him going by. I was definitely concentrating on what's going on here, like all this, but might have been able to see him going this way. But he builds a trading post over here very early. We build our house here. And I start gathering my food. One thing I notice is that he is noticeably better at herding animals than I am. So you see I kind of try to do it, but I guess I'm still kind of getting used to it. And it seems like a lot of it is kind of positioning the villagers so that they move inwards towards the town center. Yeah, so let's look at the map for us right now. So yeah, I start moving my explorer around. I start noticing that this is, you can't really go over there. And this guy also hasn't done much exploring, but he's building this, so making villas and everything. Yeah, so we start getting all that. One thing that I'm noticing for me is that my experience is not coming in. The faster I can get that experience in, the better. So I can get my villager shipment in. I think it's the difference between having to wait a few seconds and stall your TC. And I don't know if it can be done by just killing more treasure guardians, or if I need to be building a trading post or something. I don't really know. So we finally get it, partly due to a treasure. And it takes us a couple seconds to send in the villagers, but nothing too crazy. But just for reference, his villager shipment is already almost in. He did get this trading post, so that's the reason why, but I guess I'm starting to see why the trading posts are good. So we move around. We're going kind of up the trade route. Over here, yeah, again, see all our hunts are all over the place, while his are all neatly under the TC. So that's one big thing I think I need to work on. We get this. Yeah, he's repeatedly getting XP. Again, our XP is substantially behind it. So I don't know, maybe I should add in a trading post to this build I have sort of made. Yeah. So we, I think, go up right here. Okay, so we don't have to stall our villager production, but we put everyone on wood. My ratio is generally, I thought it was generally 8 and 7. Maybe I have an idle somewhere. Yeah, okay, he was doing that. So 8 and 7 is my ratio. It might be worth it to drop that down to 9 and 6, because it seems like the common problem is a lack of food to keep villager production and tomahawk production, and then Aena, or whatever those archers are, I think they're Aenas, are even more food intensive. So I think maybe we should up this to 9 and 6. Getting more treasures. We get up before him, but we do go up with the messenger, so that makes sense. Send this forward. I think this could have gone a little more forward here, maybe. Although it did kind of provide some defensive cover for our base. This would be better if all of our hunt was neatly in here, and not stretched all over the place. Also, like, moving these in would have been good. These are probably too far away to move in, but I think that's just idling. He's got a villager. He's got 3 villagers all the way out here. So that's interesting, actually, because later on in the game I feel like I'm out of food, and just having like a few villagers on hunt somewhere out of the way would have been good. I guess one thing we could do is look at right now kind of the map awareness. He's got my whole base scouted. He knows where literally every single hunt around me is. And he's got a trading post that I don't know about. I know where all my hunts are. I know where one of his sort of secondary or tertiary hunts are, but I don't have any information over here. So I'd say in general, his scouting is a little better. But I wouldn't say it's like we're like monstrously behind in that. Like, it's noticeably, our scouting is noticeably, my scouting is noticeably worse, but it's not like I would have expected 1500 versus 1k scouting to be more different than this. So I think I am a little higher than 1k. Like, I've been winning a ton of games. I'm climbing, but that's my current score, so. But yeah, I think I just need to remember with my hero to do a full circumference of their base. It's like, it's not like Age of Empires 2 where they can just garrison and like one shot your explorer. So you can definitely get kind of close and get a full, I should do a full circle of their TC and then do other things. So that's one thing. Keep going. Yeah, you can see here we start running into the food problems. We train 3, we're sending in 6. And I don't know if we go up to 4 here. Yeah, we get up to 4, but that often comes at the cost. We're not stalling yet, so we might even get 5 here. I think we probably go for the villager. No, we go for 5. I don't know if that was a good choice. Maybe we pull this off. Actually, I think we pull it off. So he starts coming in here, and I think I've already watched this once, but I think this was an overreaction on my part. He sends in one problem with this game is I have no idea what Inca does. I've never played Inca. I don't even know if I have the DLC for them. I don't really like the look of them, which is often what I base my civilization choice off. So I just don't know much about him, and I sort of overreact. I think I was nervous about him being 1500, so I was like, oh boy, here comes some crazy rush. And what I do is I send the 6 tomahawks forward and the 3 back on defense. Looks like he sends, okay, so these are shock infantry, so these are probably like rotoleros, somewhat similar to rotoleros, and they die fairly easily. They're worse than rotoleros. They're a little faster, but less hand attack and less range defense. think, actually maybe Rodolers have melee defense, I'm not really sure. He comes around here. One thing I'm noticing is we're not making villagers or tomahawks right now. So a bit of a stall. We get villagers in, and we're basically defending with these 5 tomahawks, and it actually kind of works out pretty well. So just to pause, I mean, the question is, should we have moved forward with the 11 tomahawks and like tried to burn this down? It has 2,000 health. I really don't think that would be possible. Our longhouse is 1,800. Town center is 6,500. I wish I just had a normal house to compare it to, but I guess neither civilization here makes normal houses. This is 3,000. So it's definitely burned downable, but the question is, what would he have gotten away with if we did that? Again, I don't really know. Let's see if we can see here. We can't. Whatever. Okay, let's play. So we actually do kind of defend this pretty well. He tries sieging this down. We don't even have any villagers in here. Actually, wait, maybe we do. Yeah, we do. We have 2 villagers in here. But our food has kind of ground to a halt, and we move these back to try to win the fight here.
Okay.
Wow, these are like almost kind of like tomahawks in terms of stats.
Okay.
I guess tomahawks have better siege, and they have a ranged attack. But yeah, they're messing up the tomahawks like that. Yeah, I guess one thing is I just didn't know what these things do. So we do lose a lot of tomahawks there. I think we lose this villager too. But we kind of clear this up. Yeah. This is a bad micro here. Kind of waste time on his war chief. Be better if we clean these. We have to idle more villagers. We're idling 13 out of our 18 villagers. So this is all not very good. But looking at him, we have 18 villagers. He has 17 villagers. So it seems like his eco is not amazing either. And we're both kind of like creating a lot of units and fighting. And it's not like uneven. Like we're ahead on villagers. The thing is, none of his are idled right now, but considering the fact that I think we lost 1, and we emerged with an army intact when he did not. I don't think he has any army right now. So we won the fight. I think we could have won more decisively. I think we could have had 3 to 5 more tomahawks if I microed this a little better. And another thing I was thinking is just look at all this extra wood we have. Some basic walling here, along with herding, would, like, it would take 2 seconds to make a wall right here. I don't know, I'm an Age of Empires 2 player, so I believe strongly in making kind of walls in your base to dampen enemy attacks, but I don't know, something about this game makes it feel like you shouldn't do that. But like, this is a very wallable map right here. Like you could build a wall straight across here. You could build a wall across here. You could build a wall here. This is all doable stuff, literally with the resources I have. Maybe not a full one right here, but this is where our army is. This is where I wanted to be fighting him. So if I just built a wall here, what he's doing is he's setting up this forward base that I'm literally not aware about, as you can see. I have no idea this is happening. I think that he's coming around here, which is stupid. I shouldn't, like, someone who's 1500 and knows this map is not going to randomly go all the way around like that. So I should have maybe known that something's coming in. Another thing I'm just not used to is units being able to be shipped from these trading posts and these things and stuff. That's something I'm getting used to as well. So yeah, better scouting I think is a big thing. But again, just looking at our two situations right now, like I'm literally ahead in score. I have more villagers. All my villagers are idle, but I have more army. I have a substantially bigger army.
Okay.
And so I'm not like too unhappy with how I was doing. There are things to correct, but I think yeah, just micro a little better, stay calm, herd, wall. Not don't go crazy, but wall. And take the fight where you want to take it. If all of this fighting had been happening here, in here, that would have been amazing. If he wasn't coming around here and idling my villagers here, that would have been great. I would be way ahead in that case. And I could move forward with the tomahawks and burn this down. And disrupt his, I don't know, there would be just a lot more options than what I had right here. So anyway, let's keep going. Just, I wanna focus on my, like, correction of the eco. This needs to be, like, I shouldn't even be thinking about this right now. I should be thinking about these 12 idols. I need to get my, like, idle villager management. There we go, I start to correct it. That's just, like, 30, 40, maybe even 50 seconds. I still have 2 idols. It's one of these. I kill it with the villagers. I thought that was kind of good reaction. He's trying to be annoying, and I killed him. So we come over. Look at this long attack it has. That's another thing I'm kind of getting used to. This sort of fighting under TC fire. I send in the Kanya horsemen. I don't know. Tomahawks go around. I just don't have nearly the mass that I need to have. And he still has a little bit of hunt left around his TC, so he can just kind of sit there. I can harass a bit, but he just brings him back. And in here comes a big army. Again, I don't know what these things do. So these are jungle bowmen. And they have bonuses against infantry and light ranged cavalry. So they're good against heavy infantry, light ranged cavalry, and not good against normal cavalry and hand shock infantry. Okay. These are some of the things I'm just still learning. He's one-shotting villagers, not good. He kills 2 villagers. That put him ahead, I assume. Yeah, that put him ahead in villas. So that was, again, like a wall, or maybe like this house over here or something. I don't know. That the vision in this game is a little weird. I think that was just a reflex thing. Like I could see him definitely way before he could see me. So I think I just needed to be more on the ball with that. Alright, so we got 4 Kanya horsemen, and those should immediately go there. Now I know. That's easy to say in retrospect, but I think I do think, like, oh, okay, archers. But yeah, those 2 vills, and now I'm idling my TC again. Idle villagers in the TC, they come out, tell me I make a vill. Come on. Yeah, okay. Just a little slow on this stuff, but I don't know, I'll get a little better with that. I think we kill this villager here. So it's 18 to 20 villagers. We get a vill. He's not making vills. He's having total eco problems, just like me. I think we just yeah, so another thing I'm getting used to is like what he can see. He can totally see what I'm doing here. It feels for you like he can't see anything. You're like, oh, I'm sneaking around. But he's just watching me. He pulls him back. What's going on here? Does this thing have an attack? It has a ranged attack, okay. He starts moving in with plumed spearmen, which should have been good for me because, I don't know, he makes 4 of them, so maybe that's a good amount to make. And jungle bowman. These are a little out of position. I think that I should have pulled them back a bit. We get a spearman, but at what cost? At the cost of all of these, so that's bad micro. I think at this point I had 3 groups of units. Oh, we're ahead in villagers again. Look at that. Look at this. So we had an advantage. We threw away 3 or 4 tomahawks right here. I think I was a little too split up for my current RTS ability. Like 3 groups cavalry, 2 groups of tomahawks. I think it would be better to have 1 group of tomahawks and just have the cavalry. I think I should have gotten that villager kill, pulled these back and massed up, and then used the cavalry to mess with his base. So yeah, I think I need to try not to give myself too much to keep track of. And then I have this sort of questionable attack in here that results in a lot of health. I think a lot of these go down here. I try microing them away from the snare and fail. No, I guess I succeed, but it's a little... But while I was microing that, I lose all my tomahawks. So yeah, I think all of that could have been avoided if I just took that villager kill and then... Like, this guy's 1500. That was a lucky thing right there, and the better thing to do would be to take the lucky thing, group, fix my shit, and then get ready for the next thing, instead of trying to like go over here. That was a waste of my attention. Now I'm having to catch up to mass up against this army. If right now I had 10 tomahawks, this would be good. I think I'm still ahead on Vills, but he's sort of catching up. Bad unit management here. Lose 2 Kanyas. This would have been huge in a fight if I had 10 tomahawks and all 4 of my Kanyas, or if just my Kanyas were over here messing with his economy. That would be good. So then one thing I realized is that I was sort of afterwards I was like, what? I should have popped out my militia or my Minutemen, but I forgot that the Native Americans, you have to build the fire pit thing, the powwow thing, and I didn't have that. I think that would have been a good... I have so much wood. I think if games end up like this, where there's a lot of H2 back and forth, getting that out just to have the militia would be good. I don't know how good the American Indian militia is, but I would have done it. Kind of a waste here. Should have just chilled. Now we're idling 7 villagers. He's kind of messing up here. We've got our horsemen. We're being annoying. It's not even going that bad. This is a little questionable. But, I mean, we kind of cut off these archers. That's good. Force him to move. And now we've got a good, an okay army to fight him with. The spearmen go in. I assume they clean up the Kanya. Yeah. A little bit mismicroed, but now we have an ability to sort of trade with him. We are still ahead in villagers by 3 villagers. He's having to send in a villager shipment. It's not going that bad, honestly. Again, floating a lot of wood, not floating a lot of food, which is what I need, especially for pumping out ANS. And I think we could have justified sort of pulling back here. He's trying to siege the town center, which I think was a mistake on his part. If he wasn't doing that, I think it'd be more... I'd be in bigger trouble, but... So that was a mistake on his part, but he's at 1500, and I'm a 1k, so I'll take that mistake. I don't want to, like, even really talk about his mistakes. But yeah, this isn't even bad. He's getting kind of baited into the TC. If we kept our villagers coming out, but the thing is we're trying to make ANS. Tell me I make a Vill. I might be thinking I need ANS. Now I make a village. Alright, good. This is not even the end of the world. We kill his... Let's see what his army looks like now. He has... no army. His army is dying under my TC. So once again, we have like... We're now just behind on villagers, but that's because he sent in a shipment, and we're about to get a shipment. But we have a bigger army, sort of. Yeah, we have a bigger army. The problem for me is that we are now out of hunt. We have this down here, and hunt by the edge of the map is really bad because the villagers start to glitch out. And so I have to start moving over here, and I don't think I know about this yet. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go over there. But due to mediocre scouting, I remember seeing this, and I'm like, oh god, I can't go to that one. I guess I have to go here. But yeah, so herding, once again, sort of the mistake of not herding seems to telescope pretty badly as the game goes on. And then yeah, I mean that's basically it. I'm just running out of resources over here. And I'm boxed in because he's controlling my way out too. So we kill his army, but I'm running out of food. And we send in a villager shipment, so we'll be ahead on villagers soon. He starts making bowmen. He's got villagers on my own hunt. Now we've got sort of archer battle here. I don't know what this one's doing. Bad micro. Should back here. I mean, this is all, like, from my perspective, it's like this. Not even terrible trading right there. Well, but I should just not even be focusing on that. I should be focusing on getting units out. I think I could have justified a stable here, and I definitely could have justified what I'm doing here, just getting a bit of gold to think about aging up. I'm sure that's what this guy was thinking about. No, not really. He's all-inning. He's completely all-inning. He has nothing on gold. He has no resources. He has less villagers, or fewer villagers than I do. He has way more production. Look at all this. Also, my war huts are good. They have an attack. Like, if I'd put up... I have so much wood. I could have made... I can't remember how much these are. I think they're 200. I could make like 3 war huts around here. I could make technically 4. And his ability to attack me would be way worse. Like, just a war hut here would have changed everything. Give me good vision. It would protect this hunt. He probably wouldn't have committed so hard up here. And with all this wood I have, I could get another one, you know, on his sort of over here or over here, you know, just kind of spread out. So I need to remember to use my war huts kind of like towers. They're actually like better than towers because they produce units, but they act like towers at the same time. So another thing to think about. He comes in again, we garrison. We start getting a equivalent mass of archers. Getting another batch. We're starting to get gold. I don't know if that was a mistake. But at some point here, yeah, I'm starting to look at my idle villagers and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm out of food. And this is where a fatal mistake starts to happen. It's not, there are many fatal mistakes leading up to this, but right here in game, and we'll pause it and kind of look at my point of view, this is where I'm starting to feel the pressure, because I want more hyenas because I've seen his army. I've seen that he has a bunch of archers, and really the best way to deal with that is to trade with it, although I need to remember that Kanya horsemen don't even cost gold, so having a stable would have been another nice thing, because that would have countered the archers. Yeah, so I don't know, but at the time I was feeling like I need more hyenas in order to fight him. which might have been a mistake again. Maybe the Kanya would have been the way to go. And I'm running out of food, and my villagers literally can't get the last bit of food I have because it's up against the wall. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go over here. But at this point, I know his army's around here. I didn't know all this shit was around here, but it was. So I'm like, alright, I gotta kind of sneak in this hunt here and probably push to defend it, which is not like a nice feeling when you've got kind of this, when you have 90 food and you're almost at your, and you need another villager and you need more Aenas, which cost 100 food each. See, I'm like, oh god, I'm starting to move him. The panic is setting in. And it all just comes from not herding. Is the main, that's probably the main thing I need to work on, is herding. Everything would be different now. If this hunt was here, everything would be different. I think I would be in a commanding position if that whole herd was now under my TC. Or if I had villagers over here like he did, but he's sort of intelligently watching my hunt. But if, say, he wasn't there and I had some villagers over here, everything would be different. So, herd, scout better. Anyway. And then look at this herding job I do, just terrible. They probably moved around, I probably like shift clicked, and then I'm watching that, and then I walk in here without attack moving, right into a spearman, and just gift him this whole army, and I call GG here. But before I call GG, I just kind of want to look around. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Okay, at least it's a little bit in the background. Yeah, I'm relegated to berries, which are kind of working well, so that's one thing to bear in mind, but yeah, I guess final thoughts. Build war huts. I have so much wood that I was like, what do I do with this? War huts. Not a bad investment. Stables. Or one stable, not a bad investment. Tribal or powwow place, not a bad investment. Walls, not a bad investment. How
cute.
I don't know. When you're playing against a better player, there's a sort of paralysis that can kind of take over, where you're like, it's this feeling of being overwhelmed, and your brain starts to shut down. So that's what I need to work on. But a wall here would be good. Into a war hut here, with a tribal marketplace back here, which could pump out defense. Complete the wall, or just like extend the wall here a little bit. That way I don't even have to move over there. Herd in. Have the Kanya horsemen still alive, attacking and raiding. And yeah, I think I called GG here. And I'm like, yeah, this is doomed. This is all my villagers here. I could have maybe marched them back, but there, I called GG. I don't know, I'm just trying to foresee the next moves here, like walk them back. I did have 400. Still need another villager. Let's look at the end vill count. We're 3 vills ahead. And he's been attacking me the whole time, killing not that many of my villagers, but pressuring my villagers. We're still 3 villagers ahead of him. And before I sort of sacked my army here, our army wasn't that far behind. Wasn't that far behind. And I resign. So then, looking at the post game, so okay, let's look at this. So he got substantially more food, which makes sense because he was herding and just had his villagers on hunt a lot more. He also had a bigger ratio on food than I did, which is another thing to notice. It seemed like have the majority on food. Wood can take a secondary thing, but he still got more wood than me. I got more coin. He didn't even go for coin. Free resources, I don't know what that means. Okay, so we got more food from the home city. And he got a lot of his units for free. He had more units, more buildings. Look at all these unspent resources. This is a huge thing. There's something bad about my ratio that I need to fix. I think generally just have more on food than on wood. I've heard that wood is gathered at a slower rate, so I think I'm overcompensating. I think my initial ratio could be like 10 to 5, like 5 villagers on wood, because I'm getting the war hut for free, and so I really just need houses in the beginning. And then later maybe another war hut or two, if it starts to drag out like that, using the war huts as towers and like outposts. It's always good. Let's look at the military. The like trading was, this is what I'm most happy about, is my like fighting, I think, was on the same level as his. Like with the actual fights, I almost feel like I was doing better. Technically, I guess I was a little bit. I killed more units than him, lost one more than he did. Very close, and he's 1500. He's 500 points ahead of me, so I'm pretty happy about that. There were a few micro things that, like there's that early fight. If a few things had been different, and if my micro had been a little bit better, I think could have turned into a bigger advantage. Yeah, so I think that's the positive thing to observe about how I was playing. It seemed like my fighting was keeping him, despite the numerous things I was doing wrong, my fighting was causing the game to drag out pretty long, for considering the difference in our ELO. Yeah, look at this. So all unit count, we're pretty even. This is not like, I sort of thought I was gonna lose at like 5 minutes, but it seems like we weren't doing that bad. In fact, we were ahead at multiple times. Right around here, 9 minutes. Must have lost a battle or something. But again, we sort of come back, sort of fight our way back. Despite this, we like bring him back to our level. We drag him down to our level. And then this was where I think the mistakes that I'd made leading up to this moment, like, and then with the last two mistakes of sending the villagers blindly to that hunt and then walking my army into his, that was like GG. Let's look at villagers. We were watching that pretty carefully throughout, very close. I think if we were a little more on the ball, we would be ahead of him. Military count, look at this. Despite having way fewer units, which shouldn't be happening, because the whole point of this Iroquois strategy is to have more units than he does. But he started to get a lot. Yeah. This is actually kind of telling. This is sort of what it felt like the whole time. I was like, yeah, everything's going good, and then trade, that was rough. Getting back, trade, rough. Then some good fighting in here, and then it's all too much. Let's check out idle villagers. Ooh, yeah, it's pretty even. This is kind of encouraging to me, because in Age of Empires 2, I wasn't great at keeping track of my idle villagers either. But if I'm basically on the same level as at 1500, this is rough though. Right here is not good. That's really bad. Ugh, look at that. Our idle villager situation is definitely worse than his, but it's not like monstrously worse. This is like, we're losing the game at this point. It's sort of excusable. Leading up to that, could be argued he was doing worse in this regard. But yeah, thank you to Harrison for playing against me. It was good. And I guess I'll end by his comments, where he said I played well. But he said maybe don't age up with the messenger, the fast age up. It feels kind of good having 11 tomahawks at like 4 minutes or less. And like the sooner the tomahawks come out, the sooner they have to like abandon their super greedy fast fortress plan. So that's my thinking on it, but I'm listening to him, and I'm gonna think about which one to do instead, and also just like read about which, like how fast the fast age up is. I think just some numbers would be a good way to look at whether or not the fast age up is necessary. Yeah, he didn't really say anything other than that. I think he said I did well, so that was good. And another thing that I thought about is I didn't even think about the water. I guess he didn't either. But I don't know. It wasn't really our strategy to begin with. I know nothing about water in AoE3, so I've been avoiding it. But I suppose eventually I'll have to learn. So with that, I think I'll end the video, and thank you for watching. And hopefully my ELO goes up.